Hello, my name is Dr. Angela Scruggs, and I'm a licensed professional counselor with a mental health specialization designation here at the Counseling Center, and I'm also an approved supervisor for the state of Tennessee. I work with a wide range of clients from the elderly down to the babies, and I also specialize in working with the deaf and hard of hearing community.
My name is Chloe Page, and I'm also one of the counselors here at the Counseling Center. I have my temp license in marriage and family therapy, and I work primarily with children and teens. As a parent of a middle schooler, you've probably noticed the numerous developmental changes your child is experiencing. Their brains, bodies, emotions, relationships, and social life are in an exciting yet sometimes confusing time. In this video, we would like to share some common developmental changes for middle schoolers, the importance of the parent-child relationship, and some ideas for how to strengthen the quality of this relationship to support their development.
So, to begin, let's look at some of the common characteristics of middle schoolers' development. And these include developing a sense of self, feeling concerned about belonging or fitting in and how others will view them, feeling sensitive, focusing on peers, and developing executive function skills in the brain.
So, in a time of such intense developmental formation, how do we set our kids up for the growth that we hope for them to have? Well, Dr. Dan Siegel and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson write in the parenting book, The Power of Showing Up, that the longitudinal research on child development clearly demonstrates that one of the very best predictors for how any child turns out in terms of happiness, social and emotional development, leadership skills, meaningful relationships, and even academic and career success is whether they develop security from having at least one person who showed up for them. So with research pointing to this idea that showing up for our kids is one of the best predictors for a child's well-being, it seems worthwhile to take time to ask ourselves, how am I showing up for my kids? Or in other words, what is the quality of our parent-child relationship?
Yeah, and in some areas that may be helpful for you to reflect further on a few questions. So, for example, one question is, how do I show up for my child with strengthening their quality of relationship, or do I often feel disconnected from my child? Another question you might want to consider is, when I show up, am I providing steadiness and security for my child during a time of so much internal change? What situations are most frustrating for me as a parent? What messages am I reflecting to my child about their sense of self? Is it a positive or negative message? When do I find myself feeling like there's been a rupture in the relationship with my child? What gets in the way of making repairs after there has been a rupture? Another question, what may my child need when they are upset, and how could I meet this need? Taking this time to reflect can help us show up more intentionally and in a way that we want to as a parent, rather than in a way that is more reactionary.
A lot of times, however, we cannot give what we do not have. Maybe you do not have a healthy relationship or attachment to your parents or primary caregivers. So here are some ways that you as a parent can build and strengthen the quality of the parent-child relationship. Some ideas we'd like to offer could be make time each week to do an activity that your child enjoys. The key here, though, is it's an activity that he or she enjoys. Powerful opportunities to connect and learn more about your child can naturally evolve when you are willing to enter your middle schooler's world. Next, be curious about how they view and experience their world. Friends, teachers, siblings, classes, or model and offer encouragement and affirmations to promote a positive sense of self. Whether you believe it or not, your child is watching everything you do and storing these memories in their neural pathways.
Definitely. And so you can also practice active listening and patience when your child is having some sensitivity around peer concerns, helping them to know that they are not alone. Although it can be tempting to quickly offer advice or dismiss what may seem like a small concern to us as adults, if we are quick to speak and slow to listen, Your child may feel unheard or unloved, and in turn respond in a way that may seem disrespectful. So, you could, for example, instead, you could respond with, "So, what I hear you saying is," or, "I'm sorry that happened to you." Those are other options of ways to respond and practice active listening. With this also being a time of higher sensitivity for your child, try to be more curious about what upsets your child and make efforts to repair the relationship when there seems to be a rupture. Apologizing to your child when appropriate can heal deep wounds. Also, ask about their thoughts and opinions on peer challenges before offering advice and get to know how they experience the situation and then attune to what they are needing from you in that moment. Sometimes it's okay to ask, "How can I support you and what you need in this moment? Do you want me to just listen, give advice, a hug, or maybe none of the above?" Also, ask for their input on family decisions, such as family rules or plans, to allow them to feel seen and heard. And when you do this, it's important that parents have already a structured and agreed on parameters for those family rules and plans. Then allow your child to provide some input within those boundaries, but also be willing to be flexible and compromise in low risk areas.
We hope this video was able to offer some insight into what your middle schooler may be experiencing, what needs they may have, and how being in a relationship with you can meet those needs. Our hope is that you can build a strong and secure relationship that supports the development of a strong and secure child.
If you would like to reach out to one of us or anyone here at the Counseling Center, feel free to go to our website to learn more.